Well, howdy, Pipe Pals. I'm trying to figure out just how. Okay, I guess if I go this way, because I'm talking to the. Is the camera right there? I guess the camera's right there. Okay. Just gotta always focus on the camera. Always focus on the screen. Okay, what am I doing today? Well, it's a glorious day today. And I'm gonna fix myself a cup of coffee here real quick. Let's see if I can do this. Is this working? Yes, it's working. Okay, look at that. Okay, so we get some of my autumnal coffee blend here. I just basically season it, spice it up with some allspice and some cinnamon and some other holiday kind of essences, cloves, things like that. And get a nice little shot of water here. Maybe you can see that. Okay. All right. And for those who are a little more daring, we will get a splash of heavy whipping cream. Yeah, the good stuff right there. All right. Okay. Okay, let me get this a little sip going here. And yes, I know I usually have kind of really kind of old coffee cups, and sometimes they're just stained with just coffee. So I know maybe some of you don't like seeing that. Okay, so hold on a second. Okay, so we're going to try and make a video using my iPad Pro 9.7. I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to talk more about that in just a moment. But right now I'm just making a film, making a video using the iPad camera right there. Okay. And so let me show you some things I've been doing. I've been working on making some holiday treats. The old gumdrop cakes there. You probably can see them right in the back. Kind of focus in a little bit there. I have two recipes going on there. One is with coconut flour, and one was this with the conventional wheat flour. Now, maybe you know I'm on this paleo diet, ketogenic diet, have been for almost a little over 11 months. And so it is, I gotta try to figure out how to focus that a little bit better. Okay, so I'm watching some YouTube videos here in the back. Okay, so let's go over here. I'm gonna turn this off for now.
So here you have an 18-year-old Somali.
Just put it on pause.
Somalia, obviously.
Okay, put it on pause there. And so we're gonna go in here and just use the iPad and just see if we can just make a video from start to finish. And I've been wanting to do this for a long time. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using iMovie. Basically, I'm using iMovie on the iPad Pro 9.7 inch, and that's what essentially I'm doing here this morning. Okay, here comes Kitty Cat, my little Elsie kitty. She's going to probably come in right over there in a minute. So anyway. Oops. Uh-oh. Here. Did you want to say hello to everybody real quick? Here. Want to say hello to your fans. There she is. The cutest cat in the whole wide world. Or at least in Chico. Yes, you're adorable, aren't you? Say hi. Say hi. Okay. There she goes. She wants some of the coffee because there's cream in it. She likes that cream in the coffee. Can't say it. I blame her. Because I do too. Okay. Why don't you go attack something, Elsie? Okay, so and now I've got a mess over here. Yeah, I'll just live with it for a few minutes. So, how are you all doing? I guess I should have a pipe. I don't actually have one going. Yep. Okay, I'll just grab this lovely creature here. This is a Barney or Bonjay or something. I can't remember now. Anyway, but I actually polished it up a little bit. Not bad. Oh, I love this pipe. But anyway, so the reason why I'm just here is I'm just trying to find a workflow that works. You know, I think I shared with you guys I did get the 13-inch MacBook Pro 2016 edition with the touch bar. I got that about a week ago, and I gave it a little review on that. I think some people, I've had a couple little reviews on that product, and up until recently, I mean, I'm an Apple guy. You know, maybe some of you think I'm an Apple fanboy, and I guess that's, you know, and I guess I'd say I'm an Apple old boy. I guess that would be the more accurate term, Apple old boy. No, Elsie, don't think about it. There you go. Go play with some of your cat toys. Go take a nap. Go take a nap. Good kitty. But anyway, so yeah, I got the there it is right there. I have it actually opened up. It's on my dining room table. It's a workstation now. And although a lot of people have voiced their opinion about the MacBook Pro, and now Elsie wants to play with the box. She loves boxes, by the way. So the biggest bugaboo has been the lack of the legacy ports. People just have really got a lot of heartburn over the fact that, you know, the traditional USB and ScanDisk cards are somehow not integrated into the actual architecture of the MacBook Pro, and that's I can understand that, but I haven't had that issue. And again, I'm not a professional videographer in the sense of that I make my bread and butter with video editing, although I do rely heavily on the Mac products to help me in my video making adventures. So it's important for me to have a machine that has a good workflow and can produce a product from start to end, basically. Now, when I became a Mac person about 2007, 10 years ago, this is soon will be 2017, be my 10-year anniversary of being a Mac person. Boy, those 10 years have gone by fast. Up until then, I was a Windows person. I left off of Windows XP. I thought Windows XP was really cool and slick. I actually built my own computers for a number of years, even built them for friends. I'm supposed to breathe right now, according to my Apple Watch. Hold on. Okay, that's good for another 24 hours. Okay, great. Yeah, I only breathe like once a day, whether I need it or not. Okay, but I'm so glad I have my Apple Watch to tell me when to breathe. Because if I didn't have it, I would be kind of like the blonde that needs to have the, you know, that audio stimulation to breathe. Because if you don't, you're going to die. Okay. So anyway, I used to build a lot of Windows PCs, and I loved it. Still, kind of like the nerds version of hot rod building. You know, it's like, oh, I can put a new faster processor, and I can put all these cool gadgets and make it do all these cool things that a normal PC off the showroom floor usually won't do for you. So you kind of basically trick it out. You know, you kind of put those airbags that make the car rise and fall and do, you know, the funny car kind of stuff. You know, it's like, oh, look what my computer can do. I can put all these really cool lights on it, and it flashes in the dark, and it looks like an alien landed and took over my computer and all that cool stuff. Okay. Again, I'm not hating on people that have Alienware and have these highly teched out, specced out gaming rigs. They're awesome. And again, if you're a gamer, and hey, I like games too. Some people find that's a little odd that an old guy likes games, but I mean, I don't really play. The funny thing is, with my birthday last week, I go into the GameStop once a year, buy a game, and I play it for about maybe a day, and then I don't have any more time to do it because I actually do other more important things, obviously, than sitting around playing games. Although, it's kind of an addiction in some ways, but after a while, it kind of is the same old thing. So unless there's something really cool. I have to say that I've got one game. I guess it was Battlefield 1. It's about the World War I game. No, and it was actually quite fascinating. But the gaming. What's the word I'm looking for? The gaming interface is really complex now. I mean, you almost have to go to college to learn how to play these games. I mean, you have to. I mean, it's like all of the different symbolism that you use to build your character or get through a campaign is kind of mind-boggling. And then trying to go online and play the game. I mean, I tried it for a few minutes and it was like I had no concept what I was doing. I was just lost, totally lost. So I just thought, well. So anyway, but the entry level to learning how to play these games is the basic stuff. It's a little bit more involved, and I don't know if I have the time or the inclination at this point to learn how to do all that. So as much as I would like to. Anyway, wish I had some pipe tobacco here. I'm looking around, as you can tell, for something here. Hold on a second. Okay, we got that. We got that. Let me run over here. Okay. Sorry for the little hiatus there. Okay, so yeah. Elsie, what do you know? Now what are you doing? Life with a kitty cat. Yeah. They have their own little ways of interacting with the world and with you. And sometimes, they want the basic things. They want to either be petted, or they want you to open a door so they can go outside and play, or they want food, or they want a new toy, or sometimes they want to they kind of do their kitty cat things, and they'll just look at you. They just stare at you like my cat's doing right now. And I never know how to interpret that. I don't know what she's thinking. But she's thinking something. And it's, again, it's kind of one of those interesting things that cats do. And you'll never know exactly what's going through their little furry brains. But they are thinking about something. I tend to think, I know it sounds a little kind of gruesome, but they're thinking, how could I eat that thing looking at me? My little kitty cat sometimes loves to attack me, especially my feet. She loves my feet. I think that, in the mornings when she sleeps, because she sleeps with me on the bed, she sleeps anywhere she wants, really. But when she wants to, she'll just hop up in the bed sometime in the small hours of the morning, and she'll cuddle up, next to my feet. But in the morning, when I start moving my big fat feet, she attacks them. And I think what's going on is they remind her of her litter mates when she was a kitten. You know how kittens like to, when they all cuddle up together, and then in the morning they start yawning and stretching and scuffling with each other. And so I think that it's a little kitten thing that she does is a little kitten remembrance of, oh, litter mates. Oh, I can attack you. Yeah. So I think that's what's going on. But I'm not an animal behavioral scientist, so I couldn't tell you if that's the truth or not.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat.
I'm not a real zoologist. I only play one on YouTube. Okay. So anyway, so talking about Apple products.
Hashtag Giving Tuesday on social media to encourage people to give
And smoking a pipe
to including Cat Radio.
at the same time. Try that, Pipe Pals. Can you talk about Apple products and smoke a pipe at the same time? I knew you could.
A concerto by Volkswagen.
It's a beautiful day outside, and check this out. I just have to show off my Christmas lights. I'm so happy with my Christmas lights. I put them up the day after Thanksgiving. Why? I have no idea. I normally am not like this. In fact, I still got to do the inside of the house. A little shout out there to Mr. Gary Portier. the gentleman scholar who I guess has actually got all of his Christmas up, outside and inside. So Gary, I salute you for your diligence and your determination. And he's even working on this year's Gary Gap Christmas card. Very unique. I am one of the rare privileged few who get a Gap Christmas card. They're awesome. This is good. I'm smoking caramel apple, just in case you're wondering, well, what in the hell are you doing there, buddy? Caramel apple, okay? There, you happy? Good. Okay. So, anyway, so the workflow with Apple products is really what's driving the train right now. It's really, in a very interesting way, it's not about hardware anymore. It's about software. It's and the most important question you can ask is, what software am I going to be using on this device? Whether it's a MacBook Pro, whether it's an iPad, whether it's a Mac. Some people call it the trash can Mac. I call it the Darth Vader Mac because when you take the lid off, it looks like something out of a Star Wars thing. It looks like Darth Vader. I always thought that looked like Darth Vader. Trash can Mac, I think, was coined, again, kind of by the naysayers, and people that just, we have a thing called in religious life, I guess, and I heard about this when I was my first year in seminary. Because I was a convert, and I was just really grateful to be able to go to seminary. And even though I was like 7 years older than most, well, actually I take that back. Actually, I was more of a median age because a lot of guys were like what were called second career guys. And even though I was in my 30s, early 30s when I went in, there were still some guys that were in their 20s. So, maybe they were 24, 25 coming into major seminary. So anyway, but I got to be honest, seminary was a great, it was a great privilege, okay? It was sort of like, for me, kind of like a Forrest Gump moment. You look back and you'd say, well, what is he doing here? Because, there were just other people that were better suited to be a priest and certainly to take on the theological studies. I was a guy who, I don't tell this to say a lot to people, but, I literally dropped out of high school and joined the Marine Corps. Now, later in life, 6 years down the road, I realized that, I really needed to go back to school. And thanks to the United States Marine Corps and the GI Bill, I was able to do that. And I was able to go back and start college. Started with junior college. I had to take 2 semesters or a semester of basic math, basic English, and writing skills so I could survive the academic world. But once I got over those little hurdles, I did pretty well. I made the honor roll a couple of times in my college quote-unquote career. And I did well. I was really happy. I enjoyed I enjoy education. I enjoy learning. So, but when I got to the seminary, a lot of the guys I'd say 50% of them came through the diocesan college system. And the problem was I was at odds with some of them from the very beginning because I saw, as some of you probably know, I see things differently than maybe the status quo. And so a lot of them, I always noticed they were always complaining and whining, and they just seemed like, they were never satisfied, And I was like going, excuse me, but, and again, I did not go through the diocesan collegiate system. And I had to, I was working, I had the GI Bill, I was grateful for that, grateful every month that I got my check that I could go to college, and boy, I used it to the very end, and it got me through, got me my first degree. So actually, my BA degree and 2 AA associate degrees. That and 25 cents won't buy you a cup of coffee, by the way. But anyway, I was grateful. But when I got to the theology, once you were accepted, then the diocese pretty much picked up the whole bill. So, you had to pay for some textbooks, but other than that, they paid for your room and board, and and again, I got to live in Palo Alto, kind of the home of Apple products. I didn't know that at the time. Actually, Steve Jobs' neighborhood, I think, is just a couple of miles from the seminary grounds. And Palo Alto is just Menlo Park is a beautiful place to live, gorgeous place to live. So even though I was kind of the new boy coming in, I was grateful to be there, and I was grateful for the opportunity presented to me. But I noticed that a lot of those guys who had kind of gone through the system, they were kind of spoiled. So anyway, I don't know where I'm going with that, other than I think that's what I want to say about Apple products, is that in some ways we're spoiled. We kind of, we look at what we don't have as opposed to what we do have. So that being said, getting back to a more specific, Apple kind of, not rant, but an Apple discourse here, you have to ask yourself, what are you going to do with these products? Now, as far as the MacBook 2016 edition goes, I know I pretty much have given very positive response to other people who have been very, very upset and angry and mad as hell, and how dare Apple do this, and they took away this, and they took away that, and they're blah, 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 blah. The one thing I want to say, and I saw this on Leo Laporte, I was like, if you want to really know about something about the tech world, I'm not saying that Leo is like, the Delphi Oracle, but I will say this, that 95% of what he says, it's accurate. He knows his tech. So if Leo Laporte says something, if he recommends something, or he doesn't, I don't know if he's ever trashed anything. I don't watch screensavers, the new screensavers, all the time. I don't listen to Twit all the time. I used to love it on Sunday nights. After everything was done, I'd get ready to go to bed, and I'd listen to the podcast on Sunday nights, and Leo's show, his podcast, which was really great, still is. But anyway, but he made a point, and I heard another guy say this too. And here's the thing that I'm really disappointed about in the 2016 MacBook Pro. Now, I just saw an article today about Apple and Apple products and their obsolescence and their how they phase things out. Okay, and that is something that you have to kind of understand. That's inevitable. Everything, to include ourselves, gets phased out for newer stuff. Now, I'll submit to you the reason why a lot of us are spoiled by Apple products is because of their longevity. One of the things that I first fell in love with as a new Apple adopter was the fact that when the new operating system came out, I think we went from, we were going from either Tiger to Leopard for the first time. By the way, I like the cat names. I wish they'd bring back the kitty cat names. I love kitty cat names. I just think cats are cool. But anyway, when I first upgraded, usually when I would upgrade from a Windows operating system to a new operating system, 50% of the software wouldn't work, 50% of the hardware wouldn't work, and that always just filled me with real indignation. Is indignity a word? I don't know. but I just was filled with frustration and just downright disgust that I supposedly am updating to a new Windows system, and now the computer that I have doesn't really work anymore. You know, the programs don't work, especially the ones I really depend upon, or the hardware won't work anymore. And I was really that really turned me off on Windows things. Now I'm not saying I hate Windows. I don't. I think Bill Gates is a pretty good guy, just like Steve Jobs. Okay, you don't have to hate one to love the other. Okay, or vice versa. Just a difference of opinion. That's all it really boils down to. So anyway, when I had my first experience of upgrading to an Apple Windows, Apple operating system change, I was delighted because everything still worked. It was wonderful, and I just was super happy about that. So anyway, so yes, our Apple laptops and desktops and iPads, are they going to become obsolete? Just like everything, yes, they will. And the one thing, though, that I have always loved about the Apple products, though, is their upgradability. In other words, you could buy something today, and it's still, not only is it going to be reasonably working and working really well 5 years down the road, but you can kind of adapt it to some of the changing technology as it's changing. Okay, you want a bigger SSD drive. First of all, do you want an SSD drive? You can put one in. Maybe you had a conventional little laptop hard drive, but now you can put in an SSD drive. I guess some of them put in fusion drives, which is kind of a combination of the two. I guess that was like the early adaptation of SSDs to changing out from hard drives to SSDs. Anyway, you want to upgrade your storage, your flash memory, not your flash, your RAM memory. You can do that. You had 2 gigs. Now you can have 4. You can have up to 8, maybe 16, maybe up to 32, maybe 64. In other words, the sky's your limit. You can. In other words, this machine is something that is adaptable. It can be upgradable to a certain point, and still give you more bang for the buck, kind of thing. But wait, there's more. It was also, easily repairable. Well, as it stands right now, touch wood, the new MacBook Pro 2016s, sadly, are from the very moment you open the box, they're dated, and there's just, if you in other words, you order what you want, you can, but before you make the final purchase, whether you're buying it on Apple online, you ordering it from the Apple Store, or you go through, let's say, like I go through Best Buy mostly. You can tell them what you want, and they can order it for you, or make those put in the different specs for you before purchase. But once you buy it and you open the box, that's what you got. And one of the things that really kind of upset me was, okay, not only can you not upgrade your SSD or your RAM memory after you buy it, but it's soldered onto the motherboard in such a way that it's, unless you're a professional, you're not going to really be able to fix this thing. Now, Leo said the other day on Screensavers, they went into this other gentleman called the people from iFixit, and basically saying that no, this machine, not only is it not upgradable, it's really not even fixable, not repairable. And that gave me a real moment of pause. Now, I will say that, okay, maybe it's not repairable at this point because maybe the professional people that do fix Apple products are, we have a place in Sacramento called Core Care, which up until recently has been great. They can fix. I remember when I got the first MacBook Retina display, and again, it's locked in. You can't supposedly upgrade the RAM memory or the SSD. And I called them a couple years ago after I got this thing back 4 years ago, thinking about getting it upgraded. And I said, I guess you can't upgrade this. He goes, yeah, we can do it. We can do it now. So now they have the technology where they could, even though originally it was sort of like, nope, once you get locked into that particular model, that's it. It's not upgradable. But they're saying that they could upgrade it, no problem. They could upgrade to terabyte of storage, and the RAM could be upgraded as well. Okay, so that's cool. And I'm hoping that that will be the case with the new MacBook Pros 2016s, that the real techie people, the real professionals, they will eventually be able to say, yeah, we can fix that. It's going to cost you, but we can fix it. We can repair it. We can even upgrade it for you. But you can't. And that's part of the problem, is that for the longest time, Apple products were products that you could actually, grow with. One of the great things is that, how many operating systems Apple's been coming out with a new update every year, and for the most part, up until this last update, my Mighty Mac Pro back there, you're listening to the music on with me, that was upgradable. That you could download the latest version of the software and it would run fine. Actually, it would run even faster and a little bit better. Now, does that mean that all the programs would still work? No, I had some video editing programs I bought originally from a company in the UK called FX Home, I think it was called. And after we went to the 64-bit upgrade to, whether was it Lion, Snow Leopard or Lion, where it went from 32-bit to 64-bit, I lost those programs because they were based at 32-bit, so they wouldn't run in the 64-bit world. And I think I spent over $300 for their editing software, which had some really cool stuff to it. But anyway, so the bottom line was that I unfortunately, not everything is going to be completely 100%, adaptable. You are going to lose a little bit, but not 50%. Where 50% right off the bat after an upgrade you lose hardware, or 50% software. Haven't had that experience. So anyway, that's my little Apple diatribe. And again, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to do some work more in, let's see, can I get this in here? In iMovie. Yeah, I'm trying to do an iMovie thing here. There's my camera. Actually, what I could do, if I was really, really cool about this, again, I'm still recording. I can take this off, and if I gingerly put it here, as long as I don't turn it off. Okay. Okay, can I move it down? Okay, I'm moving it down. Okay. Hold on just a second. Okay. So I'm coming over here. And where's my pipe? Okay. Okay, now I got green screen. Now, you're probably saying, what in the hell are you doing? Well, you're probably not saying that, but I am. Okay, so, hold on a second. Okay, that should work. Okay, great. Great. Okay. Now the pipe went out. Hold on a second. Okay. So they say iMovie does green screen. Okay, who knew? So what I'm doing here is I'm going to try and just finish the video using a green screen. And this is all being done in iMovie. Now you're probably saying, well, why are you doing that? Because I normally use Final Cut Pro, which is, I know Final Cut Pro, it's simple, it helps me just to do what I need to do. But there's some things about Final Cut Pro that I think would be really cool to have on an iOS device, but you don't have Final Cut Pro on iOS devices. But you have iMovie. Now, I've never been, I've used iMovie in some things. Can I just get this a little bit better? Okay. I've used iMovie in some things. And I'm not a stranger to iMovie. But because iMovie doesn't do green screen, I've always just kind of gone with Final Cut Pro. It has better editing tools. So anyway, I just thought, okay, let's see if I can do from start to finish. I've sometimes used iMovie to make little video vignettes and then incorporate them or import them into Final Cut Pro. But mostly, I just use the camera on the phone or Sony Cam, and then I just import it directly into Final Cut and or onto my Mac, and I just drop it in, and that's the end of it. I don't have to worry about it. Again, some of those professional folks out there, I'm not sure. Again, as far as SD card readers go for the new MacBook Pro, yeah, you can get an adapter, and that's, in other words, why spend a lot of grief over something that is so simple, such a simple fix? And also, the other thing is that for a lot of cameras, you can just plug it in. You don't have to take the SD card out. You can just plug it directly in from the camera, usually, and your computer will read the SD card as it is connected to the camera. And the other thing I would also ask is, can you just export using AirDrop from say the camera into iOS or Mac? I don't know that I don't know if you have AirDrop capabilities from your camera. I guess if people did, then they would do that. See, I have a DSLR. I have a Canon Rebel, and I can connect it using a USB cable. But basically, I'm not a professional photographer, so I don't have a lot of SD card. I've used them before, and I think they're great. But basically now, just like with anything else, you just buy the adapter and plug in your SD card, and Bob's your uncle, sells your aunt. What's the problem? So I'm not too worried about it. And then again, I think I showed you in my last video that they are making USB-C flash drives now. They're available. Maybe you can't pick them up right now today. I was able to pick one up at Best Buy. There was only one in the store, but they were there. So I'm thinking the end of the beginning of the new year, we're going to see more USB-C type devices. So anyway, the thing I was saying about the 2016 MacBook Pro is that you're going to buy a machine that, unless that's what I am thinking about going out. I haven't gotten Apple Care in a long time because I didn't have a need for it because the products were so reliable. And even if they did have a problem, a lot of times I go to Apple and they'd say, yeah, we kind of messed up on that, so we owe you, and we'll just fix it for nothing. I've had that happen a couple times. Or they'll just change it out. Say, well, yeah, okay, yeah, we'll give you a new one. So I've never had any real heartburn with Apple service at all. So anyway, so I'm just trying out iMovie. I want to see if I can do a whole movie based on my iPad, so if I can want to, if I want to sit and watch TV and do some editing and see if it works. That's what I'm doing this for. Okay. Yeah, I'm making a pipe video. So there you go. And then hoping everybody had a great turkey day. Lots of tryptophan now flowing through the blood circulation there. Okay, Pipe Pals, this is part 2 of this ongoing video of me using iMovie, an iMovie trial. Okay, testing. Okay. Well, and I'm smoking my Barry Norwegian pipe here. Yeah. delicious. Smoking in some caramel apple. Okay. Now, there's one thing. I know I've been talking a lot about Apple products in this video. Again, this will be a good test of this video because well, you know what? It is what it is. I have the green shirt also back here, so it's going to mess up with the recording, the green screening. Who knows? But anyway, this is all a test. Just see if I can use iMovie as a workflow, because I normally use Final Cut Pro. That's why I'm doing this video, basically. But I am talking about a couple of things, and one of them has been about Apple products and their reliability, but also their obsolescence as well. Okay. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about, a lot of us are well aware of the new political machinations that are going on with the recall. You know, Jill Stein, God bless her. You know, all I can say is now that marijuana is legal in California, just sit her down, give her some marijuana brownies and maybe a glass of wine, and just tell her to be quiet. And, I think it's going to be okay. But one of the things that have been talked about quite a bit is this whole idea of the Electoral College versus the popular vote. And how we have to get away from the Electoral College because it's not fair. Well, you probably already know where I'm going with this. So those of you who, don't want to hear my opinion, you can bounce and go somewhere else and do whatever you want to do. It's still a free country. Yes, it is. But a lot of people, and I used to always have this same opinion too, is, well, if you look at, the popular vote, that should be the one that matters. Because it makes sense. Well, more people voted for, in this case so far, at this count, in this juncture, in the recall or the tabulation of the votes from the election 3 weeks ago today, Secretary Clinton supposedly won the quote-unquote popular vote. So why isn't she the president-elect instead of Donald J. Trump? Well, that's a good question. But the problem is, and this is, I think, again, I want you to think about this because this is really, the Electoral College is really the way to go. It is the best thing that we've got going. Because it's not a group of people, even though they may outnumber, they might be in the quote-unquote majority, it's not a group of people that gets to determine the president. If that was the case, you can kiss the two-party system goodbye forever. And those of you who are third-party folks, Greenpeace Party and Libertarian Party, you might as well, move somewhere else, But the reason why the Electoral College is so important for democracy is because it gives everybody an equal say. Now, again, you're probably saying, but no, that's not true. There was more. She got more of the popular vote. Well, she got more of the popular vote in more populated areas. Picture, if you will. Doing a Rod Serling here. I need my little cigarette and my little black jacket here. Picture, if you will. Say, 10 children sitting at a round table at lunchtime. And there's a pizza on the table. And so what happens is that there's one big fat kid, and he eats over 50% of that pizza. Now the other kids, they don't get a fair share. And that's the way the Electoral College is set up, is to protect everybody's rights at the, if you will, the election table. Not everybody's going to have, 20 million people living in a city, like say Los Angeles or, New York or something. So everybody will get an equal share when it comes to electoral process as opposed to popular process or popular vote process. So I'm grateful for the Electoral College. No, not because Donald Trump won. Again, I didn't vote for him. See, I don't have really a dog in the fight but between those two. So again, I can't claim any victory here because I didn't vote for the guy, okay? But I certainly didn't vote for Hillary. But again, I see the beauty in the original framers' understanding of, everybody in the 50 or 51 United States has an equal share in the process. Again, if it went just to the popular vote, there wouldn't be much of a democratic representation, because all those other counties or states don't have the same population density that, say, a California and a New York and maybe a Chicago have. Okay, so again, it gives every state an equal share in the electoral process. So think about that, because if it was just determined by the biggest population, it'd be like the fat kid eating the most pizza. He gets to eat more because he's maybe a big fat bully, and he gets to, I get that piece too. That's mine. That's mine. That's mine. Where and then the other ones are sitting there going, but we didn't get hardly anything. So again, it wasn't an equal representation or equal access to that pizza, because one kid who was bigger and fatter and more of a bully got to get his way. So again, it gives everybody an equal, kind of makes that whole playing field equal. So the fat kid might get 2 pieces, and the other kids will all each get at least a fair share of the pizza, instead of one kid hogging most of it, if not all of it. So that's why the Electoral College is wonderful, and I'm grateful for that. So that's the other thing I wanted to say. I wanted to talk about that. And we got a little political there. I know some of you are probably going to give me some thumbs down, but that's okay, because you're watching. That's good. I love it. Again, it's great. See, I'm looking over this way. I'm trying to see the camera. Yeah, the camera's right there. So I'm talking to you. Yes, I'm talking to you. So put the thumbs down if you want. But whether or not you like the video, you don't like the video, subscribe, leave a comment. Some of you have some really quite in-depth comments. I wish I could respond to all of them. Let's see, there was somebody that asked me a question, though. Somebody asked me an Apple question. I'll just try to answer this. Maybe other people have the same question. But first, let me finish off this pipe here. Uh-oh. There we go. Good, pipe and coffee, just a wonderful combination. I don't know about you, but I just love it. I'll end with this. Somebody asked me, I did respond, but just to make it clear, in my humble opinion, they asked me, well, should I get the iPhone 6S or the iPhone 7 Plus? 6S Plus or 7 Plus? And actually, I told them this, and I'll reiterate my answer to them, but I'm actually going to modify it a little bit. I did tell them that if you wanted to get the 7 Plus, you're going to get a completely different camera system. So I would say, go with that if that's what if you're a camera person, if you're a photographer, you use your phone to take, some background pictures, some B-roll stuff, I would say, yeah, it is worth it to get the 7 Plus for the camera, the dual camera lens. Now, having said that, and in conclusion, my favorite, those 3 favorite words that most people will hear, I would say wait until the iPhone 8 comes out. I think you would be a lot happier. If you have a 6 right now, if you have a 6 or maybe a 5S, if you're still running a 5S, which is still a good phone, I would just wait until the 8 comes out now. I mean, the iPhone 7, it's been it's 4, 5, 6 months now going. Apple is going to, and I have to say this, they're going to have to pull a rabbit out of their hat right now. They're waning. Okay, I mean, that's Apple. Hardcore Apple fans will be with them to the end, I'm sure. And not that their demise is in the sight. I don't think so at all. But I do think that they have lost some of their magic to some extent. And part of it has to do with the fact that we know all these things before they even come out. So some of that is spoiled. It's kind of anticlimactic when we finally go, oh yeah, I knew that was going to happen. I knew they were going to have touch bar. I knew they were going to get rid of all the legacy ports. I knew they were going to have a better screen. All that stuff. I mean, it's like you can't surprise anybody. I think the iPhone 8 is going to be a big surprise. Revolutionary, possibly. They're not done yet, folks. They may be kind of down. They're not down for the count. They might be just sitting on the side right now, just waiting. for the next big innovation thing, and I think they'll be riding the crest of that when it comes. So don't rule them out. Don't vote against them. That's all I'm going to say. But if you're looking to buy a new iPhone, I would say right now, unless you need a brand new phone and you need that camera system, then go for it. But if you're looking to if you can wait another 6 months, 7 months, I wait for the iPhone 8. I really would. iPhone 7 is not bad if you can get it. But I just think now it'd be like, well, if you waited this long, and it's, again, the iPhone came out September, October, November, December, almost 4 or 5 months. So again, I would just think about that. Okay, so that hopefully that helps that person that asked me the question. Okay, thanks an awful lot for watching. I'm going to try to edit this now using iMovie on my iPad Pro 9.7 inch and just see how it turns out. Maybe this will be a new workflow for me. I don't know. So thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon on the next video. Have yourself a great day, unless you've made other plans.